I'll tell you what, when you work 7 or 8 days straight, it does catch up to you. Hey everybody, it's Jack from Atlantis Water Gardens. Welcome back, part 2 here in Frisco, Texas on this epic pond build. It's end of day 5 here and the rain is moving in. It is coming down in buckets, but luckily we were able to get the tarps out and cover a good majority of the area up there. That's where our constructed wetland filter is going. We've got a big pile of spoils up there that we want to try and keep dry, and we were able to cover where our whole intake is going to be. So we're hoping that's salvaged enough that we can keep pushing forward. They're not calling for storms tomorrow, but it might get heavy the rest of tonight, and it's going to definitely get wet out here. And this place gets instantly greasy when it gets wet. This clay that's here, I've never seen anything like it. It just sticks to your feet, and like your feet are 3 times the size. Looks like snowshoes. So tomorrow's going to be a fun day. See you then.
Nothing we haven't handled before. I mean, we've obviously worked in rain a whole lot harder than this. Shacks never stopped and we had to work while it was raining. So the very good thing is if you look up at the sky, it's blue, there's some clouds, it's sunny out, the temperature's nice. We just have to push through this. So it's gonna delay us about an hour this morning just to get everything cleaned up, ready to start working, and then we're gonna get into it. Like, we have to finish this waterfall today. When I mean have to, I mean every little part of it has to be done. We have to backfill, we have to get in our frame rocks, we have to get in the support rocks that go past that. We need to get all that done so then we can move over into here and do our intake bay. At the end of the day today, what I would love to see done is that back wall done over in there. And when I say done, I mean done. Jets done, destination boulders put in, some of those big rocks, backfill with the necessary gravel, etc., etc. Not the edge work, but that would be great if it could. Waterfall done, and then the two of us at least get this thing excavated over here for our intake bay. So tomorrow we can finish intake bay and move up to digging the wetland filter.
Thankfully, the weather is cooperating with us today. The sun is shining, the place is starting to dry out,
which gave us the opportunity to dig out the entire intake bay over here. So we've got 24 aqua blocks going in. You can see the depression down over here for all of our pump vaults. Our aqua blocks are going to surround this. The aqua blocks come out into here, and then the coolest thing about this intake bay is the way we're going to finish the rock work. It'll actually disappear behind a landscape bed where you guys are standing right now. So nobody will ever see where the pumps and all those acorns and leaves and everything else sit in. Later, we'll create a little access area where Matt can come in here, stand on a big flat rock, and scoop out all that leaf litter and everything else. This is gonna be one awesome intake bay. We're up here in the waterfalls, and trimming liner, one thing I'm doing is obviously leaving my liner a little longer. I want to make sure I don't have any problems with sinking or anything else. The other thing we're really paying attention to up in this area is our support rocks. So this would be considered a frame rock to a waterfall. It's important because of the aesthetic value of it, but even more important are these rocks that carry out past it. So when I'm setting these, think of a waterfall. So a waterfall in nature, it's never sitting on a hill like this. That hill's a little bit more like this, right? That water's come down, eroded away through the earth, leaving back behind the rocks that couldn't move. We want to carry that flat area out this way. We don't want to see a big slope like this because it wouldn't make sense. So we look at an elevation like this up in here. We want to carry those boulders back out this way, all the way at that height till we get out to about here. The bigger the project, the further that dirt should carry out. The smaller the project, the more condensed it can look, but you never want to see a berm like this with a waterfall on top. The other thing you want to do when building a waterfall, never ever trust your view from right here up on top of it. Constantly walk back and look from the main view that everybody else is going to be seeing. Jack, you were saying we 100% need another big boulder right in this area here. It's not that we need it really for aesthetic reasons, but it's aesthetic and functionality. Remember, we want soil to come all the way up to here, so we need a rock that's probably this big in here to help hold that grade back behind me. Also aesthetically, it'll help complement that big rock and that big rock over in there. Kind of this trio type look.
I'll tell you what, when you work 7 or 8 days straight, it does catch up to you.
when it's Sunday, so yes, this is our seventh day for me, 8th day for you guys. So I have no room to complain, even though I feel like I'm doing 99%. Here's the thing, we're working hard because we have a deadline, and when we're doing these jobs, we don't have the luxury of there's always tomorrow. We have flights that are going back home, and we can't really change those, and we're busy back home. So Ralph is leaving on Wednesday, Jay's leaving tomorrow morning. We set these goals and we have to get them finished every single day, and that's why we work these long hours. Not to think that we don't have fun a little bit in between. And we had a pizza party today. When's the last time you guys had a pizza party? So we're working on the largest stone staircase I've ever personally worked on. Not the length, but these are built for giants, right? Like, it's gonna be amazing. We're gonna frame this out over in here. This one is set up so you can then step up onto this rock, come out, sit by the waterfall. I'm picturing family photos probably every Christmas. I would assume I'm on Matt's guest list, or however you say that, mailing list. It's gonna come up this way, up into the wetland filter. You guys killed it up here. It looks awesome. So we'll just come in, once we get our gravel, backfill some of these areas. I like this, this is your walking path.
Yep.
For giants.
I'm 7 foot tall now.
Yeah, it's 7 days of work.
our last day. And all that's really left to do is just button up this cove here where the waterfall comes in from our future stream project. I set these two rocks here kind of like a pinch point. This one's angled in like this one's angled in like that. We're gonna get a rock in behind it, or maybe several rocks that kind of even the water out. I wanna see it coming off the rock like this and off this side. We put this rock in here with a little air gap right behind it. That water's gonna go inside here, be churning like crazy. And the fact that it's so pinched down on both sides, it's gonna send it out quickly. So that's gonna push water all through this area on both sides, really kind of cleaning it out and sending it off into the pond. These steppers just turned out perfect. I don't know how we could have asked for a better meetup here with this, but that water's gonna be doing this little chicane through here. It's gonna be such a cool effect walking across here. The water's probably gonna lap up right on here as you're crossing over and shoot out into the pond. From there, the jets pick it up and keep pushing it towards our intake. On this side of our large stepper coming from the barn is going to be a beach area. This is more or less for the dogs. So we want to frame this out with maybe a boulder right here against this slab. We're going to bring something out here to kind of hold it back and probably set one more rock there, but the rest of it is just going to be sloped down in a gravel right down to the bottom. This way the dogs can walk right inside here, cool off in the pooling area, and then they can maybe just lay around in the shallows of that beach. I'm extremely impressed with the team that's been here working. We're talking 12 days to create this monster of a pond, and that can only be done by having the right people here. Guys like Bill, Anthony, Ralph, Brian, of course. I had Jay out here, Eric from Stonebridge, and Christian from FNC Ponds. These guys all played a huge part in making this come together. Couldn't be proud of those guys. Only thing left to do is finish setting these rocks inside the pool, get this thing graveled up, and let the hoses do their thing before we can fire it up.
See, I can't even plug stuff in.